Alrighty, my friends, let's go ahead and make a review. So it says show work for each problem is a good idea. That should say showing work. So we can see how you are doing. No work means very few points, even if you get the right answer. And you need parentheses here. Ooh, my directions had some typos. So we want to see the work you are doing. If we're not seeing the work you are doing, then we have a problem because we don't know what you're doing or how you're getting to the answer. So you need to make sure you show. If you can write in words also, like that's cool too. You can write that. So first thing I'm going to do is distribute. Pew, pew. So negative 1a, I'm going to write that negative 1 there to make me more comfortable. And then a negative times a negative is a positive. I want to get that 1a by itself. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So I'm going to have 0 is less than or equal to negative 1a. Now you have a choice. You can divide by negative 1, which I'm going to do, or you could theoretically add the 1a to both sides. I'm going to divide by negative 1 to simply bring up the discussion of if I divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, I have to flip the sign. I was going to put negative 1 there, but that's at 0. So the 0 divided by negative 1, sorry, this is being weird, is 0. So that says a is less than or equal to 0. So less than or equal to means 0 here, means we put a closed dot, and then less than means go to the side, the left side. Next one, same idea. Let's go ahead and add 1 to both sides. 1 is greater than or equal to n over 10. N over 10 means n divided by 10. So let's go ahead and multiply by 10. If I multiply n over 10 by 10, I just get n is less than or equal to 10. So that says less than or equal to also. So put 10, closed dot, close dot, and less than means go to the left. Next one, let's see what's going on. There's a lot going on here. Let's see. I'm going to distribute that negative 5 first because that's making me uncomfortable. So negative 5 minus n, I'm going to ignore the left side. Negative 5 minus 30n. Pew, pew. I'm going to go ahead and make a decision to add 30n to both sides. The reason I'm adding 30n to both sides is I'm getting a positive positive number in front of that n. That makes me more comfortable. When I divide or multiply, I don't have to worry about switching the sign. Now I want to get that 29n by itself, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. See how I'm showing my work? That's a good idea. As I said, you could also explain in words what you are doing. I'm going to divide by 29 now. So, and then I wrote equals, which was a mistake. Less than, 0 divided by 29 is still 0. So 0 and then less than, so open dot and to the left. Let's see what we have next. A couple different paths we could take. I'm going to do the same idea as last time because I think that's going to be the most obvious to do for you to do. I forgot how to talk there, I'm sorry. Distribute that negative 8. Pew, pew. So that's negative 8 plus 16n. Now, if you're doing things that I don't think you logically would be doing, then that concerns me and makes me think that you're getting answers from somewhere else. So make sure you're taking logical steps in your solving. And again, showing your work, explaining what you're doing. I'm going to combine like terms on the right side. 3n and 16n is 19n minus 8. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3n from both sides. I'm going to subtract 3n and not the 19n because 3n is smaller, so I will have a positive in front of my n. And then I'm going to add 8 to both sides now. So I'm going to use if 16n is greater than 48. Now I'm going to divide by 16 because 16n means 16 times n. Because 16 is a positive, I do not have to worry about flipping the sign. So if I divide there, I get 3. Go to 3, n is greater than 3, so open dot and to the right. Ooh, solve each equation. So now we have some square roots. To take care of the squares. Take care of the squares, let's square root both sides. So that's going to be plus or minus 9. Square root of 81 is 9. Don't forget the plus or minus. If you prefer to write k equals 9, k equals negative 9, that is fine also. My first step on this next one is going to be to divide by negative 6 because I want to get the m squared by itself. 486 divided by 6 is 71. 81. 81. There we go. I got it. I thought 6 times 7 was 48 for a second there. That's not true. Now I have m squared is 81. Well, I had a k squared is 81, so that's going to be m is plus or minus 9. Again, you could write positive 9 and negative 9 as pieces. Now let's see on this one. So I want to get to the 9v squared by itself first. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That's an exciting number when I see 64. Now I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. Now 64 is not evenly divisible by 9, so I'm going to leave that as 64 divided by 9. Part of the reason I'm leaving that as 64 divided by 9 is because 64 and 9, they're pretty magic numbers. Because let's check it out. If I take the square root of both sides, square root of 64 is 8, square root of 9 is 3. You can write 8 thirds and negative 8 thirds. You could write plus or minus. It is up to you at that point. The last one. So my first goal is, can I get this by itself first? So I'm going to do that by subtracting 3. So I'm going to get 64. Oh, that's a familiar number. And then next step is, can I get this by itself? So I'm going to divide by 49, because that 49 is being multiplied. Don't distribute that 49 in, because we have that squared. So 64 over 49. And then I have to take the square root of both sides. So take the square root. If I take the square root of something squared, I just get the inside. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 49 is 7, so plus or minus. And honestly, if you had a question like this, you could kind of go from here. So add 3 to both sides. So you could say 3 plus or minus 8 sevenths, and then you could divide by 2. And if you left your answer like this, I would be okay with it. If you combined everything together, that's fine too. So if you do that, that would be 21 sevenths plus 8 sevenths, which is 29 sevenths. But divide by 2, so 29 fourteenths, which is like 2 and a bit. Or 21 minus 8, which is 13 sevenths, divided by 2 is 13 fourteenths, which is a little less than 1. So you're welcome to try either one of those. As I said, if you stopped here, I'm okay. You've shown everything I need to see.